All you want, Team Liquid, and Bisu, and PVZ, and 43. Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a game between Effort and Bisu here on Fighting Spirit. Top right-hand corner is the orange Protoss player only star, also known as Bisu. And in the top left-hand corner, it's going to be the white Zerg player Effort, also known as Masagi, something like that, but definitely Effort here. Definitely Effort versus Bisu, two of the top players in the entire world in this day and age. Got this replay off of a TeamLiquid.net replay pack, and pretty darn excited to bring this to you. Thank you so much for supporting me, you guys. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate the support. And let's see how this PvZ goes. I realized that I hadn't cast a PvZ in a while. A TvZ between Flash and Hero posted on Tuesday. If you haven't seen that, then go ahead and take a look. And Brood War Cheese posted last week, heavily featuring Bisu. Bisu gets cheesed a lot, apparently. At least according to the small sample size of that Brood War Cheese compilation. Alright, so basically it's going to be a hatch first here from Effort. It's going to be a gateway first here into a Nexus. Or, yep, there's your gateway. Gateway first into a Nexus here from Bisu. Just, you know, just making sure that everything's going to be okay. Just making sure, just being safe. A Nexus first against Zerg is not very wise, especially if you haven't been able to scout him. Dude, Bisu. Bisu, man, every single... like, the last 6 times I've cast you, you have sent your probe in the completely wrong direction on a 4-player map to scout your opponent soon. But, I don't know, that's just the luck of the draw. Yep, there's your hatch first here out of Effort. So yeah, no lings coming your way here for a while. Bisu, don't have to be too concerned about it, but it is something you have to be worried about if you don't know what's coming. So this is why you scout. This is why you scout as a Protoss player. This is why you scout as a Zerg player. You have your Sloverlords pushing across the map here. There's your pool from Effort. I mean, you don't want to go for anything crazy like a 3-hatch before pool versus Bisu, because again, you don't know what he's doing. He is sometimes fond of going for this 2 or 3 gateway zealot pressure against Zerg, and it's really hard to hold, surprisingly, for a Zerg player. We've seen Bisu win with that more than once. And so you just want to make sure that you have some lings of your own to help defend against that. Make sure you can get some creep colonies up and whatnot. And finally, the probe comes in and sees the timing on the hatchery and says, okay, that hatchery has been mutating for a while now. And there are no lings on the way because the pool is not done either. And yeah, no real rush to get a forge up. No real rush to go for cannons. Once he gets this scout off, it's just a weight off of his mind to see what's going on here. He's going to try to be a little bit harassy, which again, probes have a long history of doing this. It's really annoying, but I don't know. What else are you doing through APM at this stage of the game? It's 400 APM plus for these players right now. There's the expansion. And yeah, if he'd seen a pool, he'd throw up a forge to get some cannons, get a zealot or 2 out first. But nah, your Nexus can get out here. The pool's done. There are 3 sets of lings on the way, but they really shouldn't be able to do anything anytime soon. This zealot, I think, is just going to die. I don't know why you're even here, man. I'm very confused as to why this zealot exists over here, because there are lings in production. Enough lings to kill this dude. Maybe he's just gambling that Effort won't make enough Zerglings to actually... Oh, there's already another zealot here. That's why. Alright, well, fellow zealot, you're also going to die. Sadly enough for you. You can hide back here, sure, but you can't kill any drones this way. It's very, very silly of you to do this. Is this another zealot? It is another zealot. So this time it's a 1 gateway zealot pressure here from Bisu. It's very weird. The zealot does end up going down. I don't know what he's accomplishing with this other than kind of forcing a lot of Zerglings out of the Zerg player. 3 Zerglings here, 1 Zealot. The Zealot should win this battle, but get some early shots off. Losing a drone. Okay, that might have been worth it right there, as killing a single drone. And forcing more lings out of Effort than probably he wants to at this stage of the game. It's kind of hilarious. Is there another Zealot on the way? Good gravy, Miss Maybe. Really right now. Now, the thing about this position is you can't be surrounded. Okay, you can't be hit by several Zerglings at once, 3 of them at the very least, and another zealot coming in here. This is incredible. Out of Bisu. Look at this guy go. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep sending zealots out. It's going to delay my tech for sure. But you know what? If it keeps Effort on his toes, kind of throws him off his game, makes him slip on his macro a little bit, I'm okay with it. And so far, so good, I'd say. The macro for Bisu is looking just fine. Like I said, it's delayed his tech. His Stargate is just now starting at the 5-minute mark. He could have started it sooner if not for the fact that he was, you know, building a lot of Zealots. He's got 2 more Zealots out here. Third base is already complete for effort down here at the south against Protoss. You want to take this low ground against Terran. You want the high ground here, which you can't see because of the fog of war and whatnot. But Zergling's just trying to hold map control right now, trying to find different probes. This probe did get discovered. Is Metabolic Boost done? Is he skipping Metabolic Boost? I don't think these Lings have speed. Yeah, no, that is not a Ling with speed at all. He's not getting Metabolic Boost. I wonder if that's a mistake. He is getting a Spire, though. A Spire probably just to deal with the Corsairs that are early game here from our Protoss player. And again, more Zealot pressure here from Bisu. It's not as concerted as we've seen in the past. It's kind of a middle ground between no pressure and like a million Zealots. But so far, so good, I'd say, from effort. He's held it pretty well. He lost a single drone we saw back there. Maybe a previous one when I didn't notice there was the first Zealot up here in the base for whatever reason. But yeah, 3 Zealots here really going to force out more Lings, and Metabolic Boost is on the way here too from effort. So how many Lings are on the way here? 2 more sets, 4 more sets. And that is just still too many. Not enough Zerglings for that many Zealots. This base is happily mining, which is really nice. And here it is, the full surround on the ramp. Not exactly ideal for effort, but he's got enough dudes to make this thing happen. And every one of the Zealots are going to die. They're going to take some Zerglings with them, but how many kills do you have, Mr. Zealot? 3? Not bad, actually. Not too shabby. Although you are with 4 Zerglings, so maybe that is underperforming. Could be underperforming. I don't know. Another hatch up here at the third base for effort, surprisingly enough. And are we just making Corsair back here? We're making Corsairs back here. No big deal. Just hanging out. Additional probes on the way. Got another gateway. Any other tech in production. Citadel of Adun is done. So we'll see Zealot leg enhancements sooner rather than later. And there's your 4th base. Already on the way here from effort. Amazing stuff. One Zealot manages to get into third base and actually forces the evacuation of all of the drones because there's not a single sunken colony here, which I guess you don't have to overreact to this, right? And make a bunch of sunken colonies to deal with a single Zealot. And if there's a temporary evacuation, so be it. Corsair trying to get some shots off on the, well, not really trying to shoot down the Scourge, but trying to stay alive by shooting them down, I suppose. Is that another hatchery? By golly, it is. Effort likes his hatches, man. He likes his macro hatches for sure. Protoss player is continuing to work on Corsairs. Templar Archives on the way for that Storm and for that Archon production. And there's this Evolution Chamber and a Sunken Colony coming up at the third base for that defense. All right, so we're just going to see, you know, some pretty standard stuff here out of Bisu. He's going to have Zealots with charge. Well, not charge, but Zealot leg enhancements. He's going to have Corsairs to try to kill as many of these Overlords as he can. And if he can do that, we might actually see some Dark Templar in production. He has the tech for it. So the Scourge is just kind of shadowing these Zealots, saying, hey, by the way, there's stuff coming up here. And that should be made into a Sunken pretty much immediately. A little bit late there, but I think we're going to be okay. One Sunken can do a lot of damage to Zealots, man. It really, really hurts. That guy's down. This guy's going to die here, too. There's enough Lings. The Zealots do decide to retreat from that location. And another Sunken is about to pop here sooner rather than later. This is actually going to be a Spore. A Spore colony, as I like to call them. And it is going to be DT production here from Bisu. So far, so good from Bisu. Has he actually killed any Overlords? I'm not sure that he has. That said, I don't know where all the Overlords are. Unless this is them. This is every single one? I think we've got to have more than 3. Scourge, Scourge, Scourge. Couple Overlords down here too. Alright, so 6, I guess. Seems fine for this stage of the game. About 50 supply for the Zerg player. Again, this is not something to worry about. A player like Jadong is definitely Scourge taking down one of the Corsair there. Very nice. We'll be down big time in economy at this stage of the game. But around the 12 to 15 minute mark, you will start to really roar and race ahead in total supply up there. So I don't think Effort's in a bad spot. He's got 4 bases, which is really all that you want at this stage of the game for a Zerg player. Everything else is basically gravy. Then you go for upgrades, you drone your face off. His drone count has got to be absolutely through the roof. He's making 8 at a time right now. And really, there hasn't been that much harassment from Bisu at all. That DT does end up getting a kill, though, that looked like it might have been a drone heading out for a 5th base, possibly? Scourge getting picked out of the sky by the cannons. Hiding up here behind our APM counter, strangely enough. And there we go. More Corsair action here. Trying to get after some of those overlords. Does supply block effort, which is really, really annoying. Like, you really work hard to not supply block yourself in StarCraft 2, and then somebody comes along and supply blocks you, and it's like, rah. I hate this, and especially if you are spending your money well, as effort is here. Sometimes I'll find myself losing a bunch of overlords and then be like, oh, I've got 2,000 minerals in the bank. Overlords go out of all my hatcheries, and it's very fun. It's not good macro by any stretch, but it's easy to remax when on overlords when you're doing that. Pretty big scary attack here of zealots. They've got +1 attack, got lings and sunkens present, a couple hydras here too. Is this going to be enough is the question. It's a nice wall at the very least, and there's your sunken. The Corsair count is just 8, man. 8 is a good number of Corsairs. I know I switch back and forth between calling them Corsair and Corsairs, but I don't know. I think Corsair just sounds better. I don't know what it is. I have a degree in communications, and so I feel like I'm pretty good at speaking and writing and correct grammar and stuff in English, but this one kind of throws me for a loop. Corsair just sounds better. Anyway, there's nothing here for these Corsair to do at this bottom left 4th base. No overlords to kill. There's a couple over here, but again, there's the Spore Colony and a couple hydras present. Bit of an engagement in the middle here with Zerglings and Zealots. Too many Zealots for those Lings. They're going to pull back to the safety of their triple Sunkens and their Hydralisks here too. So far, so good, I say, from effort. He's really standing toe-to-toe with Bisu. Hasn't lost a base, hasn't killed a base either, but I just feel like the longer the game goes on, the more it's going to benefit our Zerg player. The more he's going to be able to get up a giant economy, the more he's going to be able to really have the ability to tech switch to whatever he wants whenever he wants to, which is the really scary thing for Protoss and Terran players in StarCraft, is you throw down one production facility, right? One Ultralisk Cavern, bam, you can make 1,000,000 Ultralisks. Decent hit there. What are these drones? Why are they hanging out here? Maybe they were hiding. I don't know. I don't know. One Hydralisk den, 1,000,000 Hydras. You get the picture. You get the picture on that. Get Lurker aspect, 1,000,000 Lurkers immediately. There's just, you don't have to build a bunch of production facilities because your hatcheries are those. It's just, it's nice. That's one of the reasons that I was drawn to Zerg back when I started playing StarCraft in 1998. Anyway, we got our Zealots running around just holding map control. They got +2 attack. A lot of Dragoons here. A lot of High Templar here too. Just preparing for Lurkers, although there are some out. But it doesn't look like concerted Lurker play from effort. He is working on Adrenal Glands. He's working on his Defiler around here too, as his late game is going to be Dark Swarm with Lurkers and Zerglings. Trying to get some stuff done here against this army. Plague too. Plague's going to be a big part against Protoss because they cannot recover from damage taken by Plague. So here we are setting up. We got Lings, we got Dragoons, and oh, hang on. All right. We're going to turn that off. Storming a couple of the Lings and one of the Lurkers there coming right on in. Storming the Lurkers again. This is a pretty intense attack right now from Bisu, but that said, he doesn't quite like what he's seeing here. The sunken count is maybe a little bit too high for him. He keeps wandering into 5 sunkens. One of the sunkens possibly going down. And just continuous attacks here. High Templar trying to wander forward, trying to get storms off on something. That was a bit of a whiff from Bisu, unfortunately, but it is a contain at the very least. Taking a base up north here right now. Actually, no, setting up just for 4. That is a Nexus. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. He is going to try to expand towards his Zerg opponent for his 4th base. Really, really trying to keep this contain on. But Defilers are in production. We're going to have that Dark Swarm sooner rather than later. A big Plague. Everybody is so set up right now. Another Lurker goes down to that Storm. The Sunkens are trying to do what they can from this location. High Templar coming a little bit forward, but storing those drones. A bit of a risk there from Bisu, but it seems to have worked. Lings running up and just getting massacred here. Where are those Defilers? There's one. There's a Defiler. Does he have Consume? He does have Consume. And there's the Dark Swarm. Fantastic, fantastic job. Dark Swarm comes up. Zealots can get some stuff done, but the Dragoons are effectively useless in trying to take down this static defense. Another Dark Swarm is up here too. Lurkers are saved by those, and this is just continuing to go forward by Bisu right now. I don't know if effort can hold this. Another sunken down. Defiler in the mix. He's trying to wriggle his way out of here. Somehow he's alive. I don't know how this dude is. Never mind. He's completely dead now. And it looks like we might actually see the Hive go down for effort. Corsair just crushing through these Overlords. Ling's trying to come up on the backside. It's 89 to 173 supply right now. I just don't know how effort is going to win this thing this battle, let alone this game. He does have a lot of Zerglings coming up from the southern section of the map, but he's going to lose his hive. That's a big, big problem for his tech tree. Ling's rolling up on the backside here, trying to take down these Dragoons, trying to pick off the High Templar too. High Templar does go down. That's a nice little victory there, but increased production here out of Bisu, and this is just looking so bad. So bad for effort. Bisu was just able to hit with better technology and bigger army just a little bit earlier than I think effort was able to. That said, bit of a mistake to come up here. These Zealots are getting wrecked by these Lurkers. They are very good against smaller, lighter units here. That said, unsupported, and with the upgrades that these Zealots have, they are eventually going to go down. Yeah, all dead, but was that a hold? Was that a hold from effort? It certainly seems like it was. The problem for him is we've got storm drops all over the 4th base. We have storm drops at the 3rd base too. Trying to take down this base with a Dark Swarm and a couple Zerglings here, but that DT is going to have a field day wrecking that. Archon causing problems. All these Overlords are dying. Bisu is just being a monster right now. Archon dies. Zergling's trying to roll up. They're, actually catching some of these High Templar. Oh, no, on this wrong place, wrong time for these High Templar. Storming themselves just to make sure the Zerglings die. Effort just doing tiny little things to possibly make this thing happen for him. He really needs to get some damage done, and he's finding it. That said, economically, the probe counts are just healthy for all of these bases. For Bisu, he's continuing to make Zealots, running them on in. They do have the +3 attack now. This 5th base attempt along the left side, it just looks incredibly ill-fated. And that's your good game. Effort has left the game, and Bisu is your winner in 16 minutes and 31 seconds. Yeah, it just really came down to that attack up north here at the natural base of effort. He just didn't have the Dark Swarm ready to go. When he needed it ready to go, there was Storm, there were Dragoons, there were Zealots. The Storms were really important to Bisu there. And yeah, I just feel like the Zealot pressure might have slowed down effort just enough to where his tech wasn't quite ready for where Bisu's was, and that's why Bisu's the greatest Protoss player of all time, is a win like that. So good job by him, and that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. I am playing Warcraft 2 out there right now if you want to hang out on Twitch. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.